Hi dear people, welcome to another edition of our 30-day challenge to write and publish our book on Amazon. I'm sorry for the days we've missed, and right now I just had to set myself up by announcing the time. Sorry that I didn't even come on time. Sorry, that is not water. I had to just post it, commit myself so that I could start today's session, no matter how short it's going to be, but ensure that I deliver value and teach as much as possible. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about pricing. Well, I've covered a lot in the last few days. I'm so excited. Several people have actually published their book. There's some people that are in the pre-order stage, so if you would love to buy their book, now would be the best time to buy it while it's still affordable. Sometimes during the pre-order stage is usually when people reduce the cost of their books, and you get the opportunity to buy. By the way, I actually even have a book. I've not announced it in the group. Look at me. I have a book that I'm gonna be publishing on bestseller publishing secrets, in how to write and publish a best-selling book, a bestseller, and skyrocket it to grow your business, your brand, and income. So basically that's what's supposed to be about. If you're interested, you can get in touch with me. Currently the pre-order is going for 2,000 naira, but that's not going to be the final price. So let me just quickly go into the topic for today. Please bear with me if you hear my daughter talking in the background or laughing or things like that. I have to make it short, but I'll try my best to add value within this period that I'm going to be teaching. Okay, so thank you as usual for joining in. You could tell me where you're listening from, and if you're listening to the replay or you're joining me live, okay. So now let me just go back to the main one, in which I asked previously about why did you write your book. I did mention that there are different reasons why you can write your book. I spoke about some people, it might be to gather leads. For some people, it might be to make money, passive income. For some people, to grow their influence, and so many reasons. So depending on your reason for writing your book, that in a way could influence how much you price your book. Now I'm going to also teach you something based on what other best-selling authors have done, their experience and their experiments on how best to maximize your royalty from Amazon. You know that usually when a book is free, you are more likely to get people to download your book. Am I correct? I believe yes. So if your book is $0 and you have more people downloading your book, then of course, most definitely, that would mean that the royalty you'll be getting from Amazon would definitely be zero, because if you're selling for $0, then the royalty will also be $0. If you're selling for maybe 50 cents or 99 cents, of course the person selling for 99 cents will get something slightly tiny higher than the person selling for 50 cents. Okay, but the point is, the purpose for which you've written your book will partially determine it. If it's supposed to be a book in which you're an authority, and maybe it's like a PhD kind of book, you will not really be selling it for the likes of like $2.99 and the rest, because it's supposed to be maybe by an authority figure, and maybe it's especially if it's in a niche that is not so common. Maybe if it's a science book about brain surgery and all that, how to perform brain surgery. It's not your typical non-fiction book where they're just teaching how to, or a checklist. So that kind of book is not expected to really go for $2.99. Why? With that pricing, the thing is, you might not, if it's way higher, you might not really get too many people buying the book, but then people would respect that book more. Okay, it's similar to maybe sometimes people want to buy a shirt and they see one shirt going for maybe $2, they see another shirt going for $10. Sometimes some people would prefer to pay the $10, especially if it's supposed to be a designer shirt, as against $2, because the perceived value that they will get from the shirt, it might just be the labels that was changed. The perceived value is that, the one that costs more should be more valuable or be of better quality, even though that might not always be the case. So if you're writing something that is very niche and maybe professional, you probably do not want to sell it very cheap. You might have lower royalties delivered to you, but then it's going to probably most likely going to be respected more than if you were selling it at the common price that every other thing goes for. Okay, so now usually when you're feeling when you want to publish and you're filling your book on Amazon, you have the opportunity to choose whether to collect 35% royalty fees or 70% royalty fees. Some people don't really know this very well, and that's why I'm teaching it right now. So it's best to make the most use of this information I'm going to give you. Some people just say, is it not just publishing on Amazon? They put in details, hey, I'm published. But that does not mean they are maximizing how best to collect their money from Amazon. So now, just by listening to what I have to say, you have the opportunity to choose between 35% or 70%. Now, for those, for a best-selling author, there's someone that carried out an experiment. The sweet spot is when you price your book. That's, let's say you want to, it's for passive income, you want to get money. It's not that your book is very niche, like maybe you're talking about brain surgery, is a textbook, and they're not expecting it to be sold for pennies. Otherwise, they'll be doubting the information inside. Sweet spot is when you sell your book for $2.99. You're more likely to have more royalties. Why? Because the price, that is the edge at which you can start earning 70% royalty fees. And people are more likely to buy your book when it's $2.99 because it's cheap, as against when it's $5.99 or when it's $10.99. So sometimes some people think that, if my book was $10.99, not really even $10.99. The range to be able to collect 70% royalty fees is $2.99 to $9.99. That does not mean that when you're at the KDP back end, you won't see the option to choose 35%. You will see the option. So if you're knowledgeable about what I'm teaching you right now, that you know that if the pricing of your book is like $2.99, then you should be choosing 70% to maximize your royalty as against 35%. Now, if your price range is between 0 to $2.98, the royalty you're going to collect is 35%. So what some people do, for example, if you want to gather leads, then it pays you to just give out your book at $0. Why? Because you get more downloads if leads is your objective, as against when people are expected to pay $1, $0.99. For example, Nigerians would find it challenging to pay for the book at $0.99, not because they can't pay for books, but maybe because the ability to make payments might not be so easy. They might need to have a US dollar card in order to be able to make payments. But if it was $0, then they don't really need to have a card to pay. So you can see that people that ordinarily would have had difficulty paying on Amazon would even be able to have access to your book and your resource if it was $0. So if leads, that's why I said at the beginning, why did you write the book? If gaining of leads is the reason why you've written your book, then having it at $0 will be a sweet spot for you. If your book is $0.99, you'll be getting 35%, and it's not like you even really get too many people to download your book. So if there is no special benefit to making your book $0.99, can as well just make it $2.99. But the benefit of making it $0.99 sometimes is when people want to launch their book and perhaps they already have a great followership, they will prefer to launch with $0.99. For people that don't really have great followership, sometimes they prefer to launch with $0, then they move it up gradually, maybe to now $0.99, then later to $2.99, so that perhaps if Amazon has promoted your book for $0 and someone says, oh, I'll buy it tomorrow, and they procrastinate, and by the time they actually end up buying it, they see it for $0.99, they're like, oh, it's just $1. They're more likely to buy that book and say, oh, okay, the difference is not much. So if you're launching your book and you're gradually increasing the price, you can increase it, okay, from $0 to $0.99 to $2.99, like that. But some people would prefer to just move from $0 to $2.99, depending on them. So if you're doing $0.99, I've told you, you'll be entitled to 35% royalty. If you want 70% royalty, it's between $2.99 to $9.99. And I told you, when you price your book at $2.99, you are more likely to have more people buy your book as against when your book is $5.99 or $9.99. Now, for you to be eligible for these 70% royalties, there are some things you need to know. First of all, that's the price range. So if your book is priced at $1.99, okay, yeah, $0.99 is a good sweet spot. $1.99 does not really make too much sense per se, because you are getting 35% royalty, and it's not like your book is so cheap, like $1, that people would say they are so interested in it. So $0.99, $2.99, they are okay depending on what you want to achieve. And I've told you, if money is not your priority, but it's a niche professional book, then you should look at pricing your book high in order to increase the perceived value of that book. For example, you are writing a book on brain surgery, how to do brain surgery or something like that. If it's going for $2.99, it might not really be so respected, because they'll be wondering what kind of content is in this kind of book at this amount. So, number one, price range for you to qualify for 70% royalty is between $2.99 to $9.99. But if you think you're wise and you say, oh, I'll price it at $9.99 so that I can get 70% this thing, just do the calculations. Someone has done his own experiment, but you're allowed to do your own experiment. You can maybe perhaps change it each month and see the amount of sales you're likely to get. Of course, if it's $9.99, you are probably going to have less people buy it. So if you look at the number of people that will buy times the price, and do it maybe over a period of time, maybe every 1 month or 3 months, and extrapolate, maybe that way you might be able to see, oh, okay, did I have more people buy? Was I able to make more money as against when it's a lower price? Okay, now when you are expected to when you want to get 70% royalty payment, you would need to pay for delivery of your book. If it's at 35%, you don't usually pay for delivery. So it's around I think for US markets, around 15 cents per megabyte. So if you can make your book very heavy with so many pictures and all, it's going to, you're going to be charged for them delivering the digital book to the end user's device. So if your book is like 10 MB, that's why your book should not be heavy, and it's about 15 cents per megabyte, then that means that you'll be charged $1.5 for delivering your book to the end user, and it will be deducted from your royalty or the money that they would have given you. So it's the balance that will now be your royalty, the money that they will give to you. So that's what you should note if you are choosing the 70% royalty payment plan. Then also, only certain regions are eligible. Basically, that means even though you say 70%, Amazon is in several countries. It's only certain countries, I think most of America and Europe, that sales of your book will yield 70%. Now, if you want sales of your book to yield 70% in some countries like Mexico, maybe India, Brazil, then your book must be enrolled in KDP Select. Otherwise, it will be 35%. Then also, you must have copyright to that book to be able to earn that 70%. The book must not be in public domain. So that will be all for today. I hope you have been able to gain value as usual. And it's usually, the royalty is usually a percentage of the list price, as in the price you have listed your book as, without VAT. So even though a book might be $2.99, if they add VAT, the VAT does not belong to you. So don't think that the royalty will be percentage of the VAT. No, it's percentage of the amount of your book itself. Okay, so that's all. If you have questions, don't forget to ask them in the comment below. And for the book that I said I have just launched on, or rather that is available for pre-order, you could get in touch with me. It's currently going for 2,000 naira only. After that, the price is definitely going to be doubled. It's about bestseller publishing secrets. Okay, so if you're interested, don't forget to get in touch with me. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. God bless you. Ciao.